Hey there, welcome back to yet another episode in the journey of demystifying the Patent Act. In the last episode, we went over various definitions as provided by Section 2. We also went over the definition of invention or new invention and identified the key requirements of inventive step and industrial applicability. It brings me to an interesting question. Does it mean all the creations under the sun which satisfy the requirement of the definition of invention and new invention will be considered as patent eligible subject matter? No. Indian Patent Act provides a negative list of subject matters which are not considered as patent eligible subject matters. In this video, we will go over the subject matter one by one and try understanding the reasoning behind it. Let's get started with the first one, alphabet A. Section 3A states that any invention which is frivolous in nature or which claims anything which is contrary to the well-established natural laws is not considered an invention. Examples? Everybody's favorite examples. A machine which claims a perpetual motion, no energy shortage, no friction in life. Or a machine that can produce output without input. So frivolous, contrary to well-established natural laws, is not an invention. Let's move on to the next alphabet, B, Section 3B. Section 3B states that any invention whose primary purpose or intended use will be contrary to public order or contrary to morality or will cause serious prejudice to human, animal, plant life and health or serious harm to the environment will not be considered as invention. What are the examples? Method for breaking into a house, method of gambling, or method of human cloning are few examples given by the Act, which are not considered as invention. Next alphabet, C, Section 3C, mere discovery of scientific principle, formulation of an abstract theory, or discovery of any living or non-living substance occurring freely in the nature is a mere discovery, is not an invention. However, practical applications of scientific principle or an abstract theory can be considered as a patentable subject matter. Moving on, another discovery, 3D. This is the most happening subsection. Let's go over it. It says a new form of a known substance or a new property use of a known substance or a new use of a known process, machine and apparatus will not be considered as an invention unless, in case of a substance, new form of a known substance provide improved efficacy. Now, what is efficacy? In cases of pharmaceutical products, efficacy should be interpreted as therapeutic efficacy. That means how efficiently this form as compared to the previous form is able to heal a human being from disease. Now there is an explanation that is given with respect to what will be considered as new form of a known substance or what will be considered as the same substance. Any derivative of a substance, isomers, mixture of isomers, combinations, complexes, salt, esters, ethers will be considered as same substance unless, of course, one of these variations or derivatives could have improved efficacy over the earlier form. Similarly, in case of a mere use of a known process, unless it gives you a new product or employs a new reactant, it will not be considered as a patentable subject matter. Let's move on to the next alphabet, E, Section 3E, a mixture. If you were to combine two substances together to create a mixture, such a mixture will not be considered as an invention unless it has a synergistic effect of the properties or it has a combinational effect of the properties of the two substances that you mix together. Let's take an example to understand this. You take drug A to treat your fever in some amount, let's say 1 milligram. It also causes some sort of side effects. You take another drug B to treat pain, again in 1 milligram quantity, and it also causes some other side effect. You were to mix these two compounds, 1 milligram, to make a combinational drug which treats your fever as well as your pain, but the side effects remain as it is. It means the combination has no improved effect as such, right? Each of the individual aspects are working individually. What if you were to combine 0.5 mg of first, 0.5 mg of B, and come up with a combinational drug which not only treats your fever, also treats your pain. At the same time, the side effects are also reduced. So here it is, your synergistic effect. Such a mixture with synergistic effect will be considered an invention. Next one, F. What about you were to arrange and rearrange devices, each of them working independently of each other and providing their own outputs? Such an invention or such a juxtapositioning of devices also will not be considered as invention, unless of course the features have interlinking. So the resulting component that you have obtained should manifest into something where you have a new process, new product, improved results, or something of those sorts, where the features should have some sort of functional reciprocity with each other. They should be interlinking to produce a better product, better output. A funny example that I picked up from the Act, it says umbrella with a fan. Fan, umbrella, individual products, there is no interlinking of features as such. Or bucket with a torch. Think of it, who would need it? Moving on, H, horticulture or agriculture. Any method of producing a plant or improving a soil for better production will not be considered as invention. Method of treatment, I, 3I, I for injection, injection for healthcare. Method of treatment is not considered something which is patent eligible in India. Now, what all could be covered in there? Method of medicinal, administering medicines. Surgical, any sort of surgery which requires knowledge and skill of a surgeon. Curative, it's preventive processes. Prophylactic, nothing but vaccinations. Diagnostic, investigating to find what is wrong with you. And therapeutic, again, method of treatment. So any method of treatment of human being or animal for rendering them free of disease or increasing their economic value of their product is not considered as invention. But any instruments or device to carry out any one of these is a subject matter which is patent eligible. Let's move on to J. J for jungle. So here also an invention which claims plant whole or any part, animal whole or any part, seeds, varieties and species of plants are not considered as invention. So basically, any process of production and propagation of plants and animal is not a patent eligible subject matter. However, microorganisms other than naturally occurring are patentable. What kind of microorganisms? Genetically modified, which required significant human intervention, are subject matter which are patentable. Moving on, another happening subsection, 3K. You will find it most of the times in most of the FER these days. So what does it mean? So mathematical method or business methods or algorithms or computer program per se are not patent eligible subject matter. There are a couple of terms that you need to remember about section 3K. Technical effect and technical advancement. So these are the two aspects that are required from an invention for it to overcome section 3K. Moving on. L, literary, artistic, dramatic and musical. All these, as you may know, are covered under Copyright Act, therefore are not patent eligible subject matter. Moving on. M, mental act, mere scheme, playing game, method of teaching, method of learning. All these are not considered as patent eligible subject matters because these are considered as mental process and mental process are not patent eligible subject matter. Next, N, presentation of information. So any sort of presentation of data is not patent eligible subject matter, irrespective of how it is done. Could be visual, audible, or tangible by words, codes, signals, symbols, diagrams, or any other mode are not patent eligible subject matter. O, topography. Because this is covered under Semiconductor IC Layout Design Act, layout designs are not patent eligible subject matter under section 3O. Finally, P for public, traditional knowledge. So aggregation, duplication of known properties of traditionally known components are not eligible subject matters. I know what example is coming to your mind right now. Turmeric, the healing properties of turmeric. Yes, that's a good example. Think of it, this will not even meet the requirement of the definition of new invention. It is already part of the public domain. How can it be considered as an invention, isn't it? So with this, we have over the negative list as provided by section 3. There is one more though, provided by section 4. So an invention related to atomic energy will not be patent eligible subject matter as per section 4 for national security in the interest of public. No patent shall be granted for such an invention. So this brings us to the end of this session. In the next session, we will discuss who is the right person to apply for a patent for the invention that we filtered through section 2, section 3 and section 4. So I'll see you in the next session. Till then, take care and be good.